Have you ever wondered what a custom $4 million plus home looks like in a totally normal neighborhood in San Mateo? I'm gonna share with you guys this 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath home with a detached ADU, amazing kitchen, and we are walking distance from the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school, and we're gonna take a walk after we see the house, and I'm gonna show you what all that looks like. And join me every Monday at 5 p.m. where we're dropping new videos about what it's like living in San Mateo County. But for now, let's pop inside and take a look. Just want to show you guys this door. This is a true style door. They make really solid doors. This is completely solid. Like, listen to that thunk. Some people buy cars just because the door is so thick. But anyways, these are 8-foot doors. And I want to show you up here, actually, we're going to pop into this room in a sec. But look at this. This is an 8-foot door opening. Most doors, like even at my house, are 6 feet 8 inches. So I love this here. I think this floor plan is awesome. So we've got a bedroom in the front here. Not a massive bedroom, but still really nice. Lots of light. We have a queen size bed in here. Come inside, let me show you guys this bathroom. I love all the finishes in here. One thing that we're seeing that the developer did, which I think was really cool, is take a look at this toilet here. You can put your hand completely under here. So from a cleaning perspective, it's a lot easier. It's a more expensive look, but it's all kind of wall mounted. Well thought out, because when I was doing a walkthrough with the builder, Sullivan Construction yesterday, he's saying, well, if you're kind of in the shower here, you don't really want to look at a whole toilet. So it's just nice and clean. And I think it's really thoughtful how efficient they were. You can kind of see this is some really thick glass here, beautiful tile in the background. And it's just nice to have an ensuite on the main level. It's something, at least from my experience, that a lot of people really like. And then over here, you've got a pretty good closet. And let's just take a look. Look at the ceiling height in here is just totally massive. So someone will come in and they will build this out. Let me just show you guys here on the floors. I completely love these floors. This is a wide plank French oak floor. And this is solid wood. This is an engineered product, which is very common. So you basically have a layer on top of oak, and then there's wood, several layers underneath that. So this can be sanded several times. We have a eat-in kitchen here, which is nice, kind of the separate dining area, which is still pretty integrated. At least from my perspective, people are moving away from like the formal dining rooms and more kind of this open concept. So I feel like this is a really efficient use of space. And what's interesting, this home is actually only 2,000 square feet, which is not a huge house, but for what it is for this lot size, I think they hit a home run with how well thought out this is, because you have 10-foot ceilings on the main level, and then on the second level, there's 9-foot ceilings. It's just a nice feel. Now let's take a look over here in the kitchen. There's some nice features that are worth pointing out. This is a nice Wolf dual fuel stove. If you were to buy this version completely gas, it costs about $6,500, but a dual fuel stove is twice the price. This was about 12 grand. It was interesting. I just learned this when I was doing the walkthrough, is that if you are a baker, you really want to have an electric oven on the bottom versus like the typical unit for 6 grand where it's all integrated. So I think this is a nice feature if you really are into cooking. We have some really gorgeous slabs here. And all the cabinetry in the house was done by Ralph King, local guy based in South San Francisco. So they did some really high-end work here. And what's cool is if you kind of look up to the top, you can see these cabinets go all the way up. We have pretty sweet Sub-Zero fridge here. Gotta love that. I have a Sub-Zero in our house, and then we have another property where we have a GE fridge, and these things are 5 times the price, but I don't think the cucumbers last any longer the more expensive they are. But they are nice and they do look good. And then this is a cool little feature here of the pantry, because there's no kind of whole pantry area, but I do want to show you the appliance garage and this room over here. Let's take a look. It's not huge, but it's a nice place where you can put your blender, you can put your toaster oven. Again, not massive, but I just think this is really thoughtful. I really like the open shelving here. And if you kind of take a look up here, it's kind of hard to see, I know, but again, the cabinetry goes all the way up to the ceiling. Now, it's probably not that practical. You're going to store stuff all the way up there. You need a little step stool, but usually there'd be a couple feet of extra space. So I just like these little details. Like, for example, you can see here the shaker trim. This is 3/4 inch, and typically when it's coming from the factory, it's 2 inches. So this was a nice additional custom element that Justin and his team chose to do here. And then again, down here, you just have more space and et cetera, but it is nice to be able to do this. And then we have a pocket door that will kind of close all your mess, and you just leave that right in here. All right, I want to show you guys over here the rest of the lower level. This is kind of the main hangout spot. I really like this. personally, being a parent, because if you're cooking, you can have your kids over here. People can sit at the bar, they can do their homework, sit there with a MacBook. You have a beautiful view of the backyard. And we also have speakers that are throughout the house. So that is a nice smart home touch. But come on over here, and I want to show you guys the other room down here. So we have a powder room here, kind of like these cool walls, kind of some purple setup going on. But I just want to also show you here, this is cool. Like, you can see high-end construction rather than having, not sure what you call this piece here, but this is recessed for the heating straight into the floor. It's completely flat and even. Whereas other times they'll just kind of sit up here and you can stub your toe. They don't look as good. So I like that they kind of thought about all these little details. And then let's check this out over here. And I thought this was a really thoughtful and creative use of the space. I mean, the home here is 2,000 square feet plus the ADU, which we'll get to after we check out the upstairs in a minute. But this room here, super nice for work from home. Again, you've got the 10-foot ceilings. There's no closet in here, which means that is not technically a bedroom, but still pretty awesome. Like if you just want to kick back, watch some TV, sit here with your laptop, or I mean, this could obviously be converted if you have guests coming over, sleepovers. I just think it's a really good use of space. And then right off of here is the mudroom. And this is at the top of a lot of people's list, which is why we're showing this to you. And from my architect, I hear this all the time, and also from Justin, my contractor who built the house. This is really cool. So you have a nice tile floor here, great place where you can just put up kids' backpacks, sports stuff, super easy, more cabinetry up top. And then this is amazing because right here, we would have the stackable washer and dryer. So I really like this, have this at my house too, where you just take stuff out. Like you don't want to put the heat on too high from the dryer. And then you can just kind of go up here, hang your clothes, let them kind of air dry on their own. So that is a nice touch. And then of course, having a utility sink is fantastic. And again, we have a pretty view, just looking out to the redwood fence and to the neighbor's trees. I really like that. Okay, before we pop upstairs, I want to show you guys the garage, because who doesn't love a clean garage? Check this out. And this is a attached two-car. I'm not even sure what the ceiling height is in here, but if I had to guess, I don't know, maybe it's like 15 or 20 feet. It's ridiculous. Just to get a two-car side-by-side that's attached is something that, I don't want to say it's something that money can't buy because you can buy this house, but it's something that you rarely see. Even if you go in Burlingame and you want to buy a new construction house for $5 or $6 million, you're just unlikely to see the two-car attached. I really wish I could have a two-car attached myself, but it is what it is. And I will point out these epoxy floors. A lot of times you just see just a basic concrete slab, but I love how Jay Sullivan did this. I mean, you can kind of walk in here with your bare feet if you wanted, or your socks and stuff. It's just a nice touch. They really thought about everything here, even finishing off the garage with a level 5 finish on the drywall and the paint. And then over here, this is nice to see a brand new furnace, which handles everything. There's actually 2 zones in the house, a lower zone and a higher zone. And this is a 95% efficient furnace. Whereas like I think about the old furnace that my parents had at their house in Burlingame, and I think it was like 50 or 60% efficient. And then over the last 20 years, it became like 80% efficient. And now we're seeing stuff in the mid 90s. So the inefficient part of the 5%, that means 5% of the heat that's being heated is not going to the house. So you have a little bit of loss, but again, that's pretty negligible and not a big deal. All right, let's go back in, and I'm gonna take you guys upstairs. And then after the upstairs, then we're gonna pop outside. I'm gonna show you the yard and then the ADU. Oh, I will just mention here, I do like this bar as well with, again, the Carrara marble here. You do have a little wine fridge down here, which is cool. And then these, again, floating shelves that we can kind of see this theme throughout the house, even with the integrated lighting. So thoughtful. All right, let's take a look here at the stairs. One thing I want to show you on our way up, this is really cool. These are called balusters, and here in these will be in 2 parts, but this is really clean. You can see how it goes all the way down straight into the wood. So that required a hole to be cut perfectly for the baluster to kind of go right in there. All these little details, if you're just coming to the house, like most buyers, they come in for 20 minutes with their agent, and they walk through like, oh yeah, this looks beautiful. But sometimes it's hard to appreciate some of the really thoughtful touches that they've done from a design perspective. Like even over here, you can see all the path lighting. So I would set this so it's on every night from like 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Pretty easy. Again, as we kind of get to the top of the stairs, you've got that 9-foot ceiling height, which is pretty sweet. First bedroom up here. Again, because it's a 2,000 square foot house, you're not getting massive square footage in the bedrooms, but I think that's fine. Like most people aren't spending all their days up here. And again, you get that really high plate height of the 9 feet, and then you get an even higher ceiling at the top. There you can kind of see the lighting. They spent over 15 grand on just the fixtures for lighting in this house. So definitely didn't skimp out on the details. Now let's take a look at this bathroom here, which also serves the bedroom over here. And I really want to point out, like here, this kind of looks like all one piece of marble, but it's actually not. It's one piece here, and then they took a second piece here, but it kind of, the way they've integrated that, it just was so thoughtful, kind of the drop edge there. And then I want to show you from a cabinetry perspective, you can open this up. I love how Ralph did this. And then on the bottom, there's even more storage. So everything is super easy. And then when you kind of get down here, it's just nice and easy to clean things out in the house. And then if you come over here, this was a little bit of a design challenge, but they were able to make it work, is having a separate toilet room, which I think was a great idea because this served by for 2 different rooms. So someone could be in here using the bathroom, someone else could be brushing their teeth. Obviously, this is likely to be kids. And then let me show you here in the shower, from a detail perspective, you just want to point this out. This is the drain, but most of the time people just have metal drains. They went the extra step here, and they even put the tile like right into the drain. So that is a nice, thoughtful touch. Now let's take a look at the second bedroom up here. Again, this is pretty straightforward, but cool light fixtures, high ceilings. I think you have a good idea. Let's move on to the primary suite. And one thing that's kind of nice is when you look at the lot sizes, like we are in the kind of Aragon Homestead Housing neighborhood in San Mateo, you know, homes are kind of closer together. So rather than having the windows go all the way down when you're looking at the neighbor's house, you just get a lot of light coming in here, but you don't have to look directly at their house. This is really efficient. So we have a king size bed here. We have a nice balcony, and then we have a beautiful bathroom. I want to show you guys this. And there's some really nice, thoughtful detail. Kind of check out this millwork here. And this kind of gives it like a high-end feel, like it's custom furniture. And you can kind of see here what I was talking about with the 3/4 inch. I just love how everything's integrated from a design perspective, with everything from the pools over here, like with the brass fixtures and the mirrors. A lot of thought went into the design of the house. Now, if we kind of come over here, you can see there's a little area, a little desk. I like this area, which is built in. If you want a spot to do your makeup or just kind of chill, you can sit there. And then we have a bathtub, and then let's take a look at the shower here. One thing I'll point out in the shower, and this might be a little hard to see, but in the very bottom, there's a very slight slope to the floor. So a lot of times you'll just see, again, the drain in the middle for a primary, but I like this here. It's a very minimal drop, and then you can kind of see all the water in the drain collects down there. Again, you can see up here, the window is pretty high, so you're not really looking into the neighbor's house. So it's a nice thing when you do these custom homes. You really can kind of put a lot of thought into that, and that's something that the builders get a lot of credit for. And then let me show you guys the closet in here, because I think it's nice seeing the cabinets go all the way up to the ceiling. We have some attic space up there, but it's not common on custom homes to have closet cabinetry already just built in here. So this is nice. You get a lot of built-in drawers, hanging stuff. You get the point. I like it a lot. Now we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna check out the ADU. I think it's nice that it's hardscaped like this. You certainly have another area over here, which we'll come to in a minute, but having a built-in barbecue, I think this is really sweet. But again, you can kind of see around the perimeter of the house, there is so much greenery here, and there's no like big second story looking right into your backyard, which I'm usually not a huge fan of. If we take a look at the ADU over here, this is about 400 square feet, and it's got a standing seam roof, which is a metal roof. These are pretty pricey. Most homes, like you can kind of see in the other ones, they're composition shingle, but I think this is a really nice touch that they added in. We have a fire pit over here, which is really nice if you just kind of want to chill. We have a sitting area. Over here, you have this really cool patch of turf, which is convenient. And then over here, we can see the condensers for the forced air system. And then for the ADU, we can see over here the heat pump. Let's go inside and check out this killer ADU. I'm gonna be doing a video soon, hopefully in the next month or two, all about ADUs. I absolutely just love this ADU. We have some super high ceilings here. Again, we have the same floor. Sometimes you'll see ADUs where I've seen a couple where builders just kind of like skimp out back here, but this is just as high end as the house itself. We have a high wall unit up there, which provides for heat and air conditioning. Again, what's neat is behind each of the artwork here and there, it's all wired for TV. If you want to put a TV on either wall, you can put a Murphy bed on either wall. And then let's check out this kitchen area. This is nice. I mean, there's a very simple kind of half dishwasher, this drawer here from Fisher Paykel. They make some nice stuff. Used to have a fridge from them. And then you have the engineered quartz countertop. It's just a really nice space. Let me show you guys the bathroom. And again, very simple, nothing fancy over the top, but again, very basic. And I just love how the design element from the whole house kind of continues into the ADU. Now you might be wondering, who are the type of people who live in this part of San Mateo? I think it's just like most areas here. We have a lot of families. We have older folks who have lived in their homes, raised their kids. Maybe they're in their 70s or 80s. What's nice about this kind of pocket here, we're in technically this area called Homestead Husing, which is in the southern part of the neighborhood. We're just kind of north of 92. We're east of Alameda. We're west of El Camino, and we're south of Crystal Springs Road. And this is a very popular spot. It's kind of one of the 2 most expensive neighborhoods in San Mateo, this greater kind of Baywood, Aragon, Foothill Terrace, Baywood Knolls, and Homestead Husing. It's expensive because we're walking distance to downtown San Mateo. It's also expensive because you have just beautiful tree-lined streets, very high tree density. It's very trick-or-treatable. In fact, for Halloween, we came over to our son's friend's house a few blocks away, and they passed out, I think the dad told me it was like 1,800 or 2,000 pieces of candy, which is crazy. So people come from all over to hang out in this pocket. And you can also walk to all 3 elementary schools, which we'll show you in a minute once we move on from the house. But there also is a cool feature here, again, like we saw with the basic wall. If we open these up, both of them, I want to show you how easy it is to open this wall up. Probably just takes 10 seconds or so, and boom, you get some really good indoor-outdoor flow. You might be wondering, does it make sense to buy a new construction home versus just going out and buying an older home, remodeling it, tearing it down, and then doing your own project? I think it's really personal, right? I mean, from my perspective, my wife and I have done a couple of projects, and we really liked going through the process of doing our own because we got exactly what we wanted. But at the same time, you're not gonna be spending less. I mean, you could be easily spending $1,000 a square foot, plus or minus, for building new, or doing a major remodel down to the studs. We're talking like electrical, plumbing, all that being new. And so, whether you buy a home like this or not, that's kind of up to you. But I feel like there's a huge benefit of buying new if the quality is there, because you don't have to go through a year of planning and then year of construction and then people not showing up, or this and like all the headaches that people have. There is some benefit to buying new. But if you really want, like, for example, from a design perspective, this might not be the type of house you want. Maybe you want something a little bit different, or modern farmhouse or craftsman, right? Like those are types of homes that people are really drawn to as well. So if you kind of like that feel, then go ahead, build your own house and go through that project. But if you like something that's more turnkey like this house, then buying new, or buying mostly new like this, because this is not technically new, it's a major remodel from most of the ground up, then that's gonna be able to check the box. So if something like this is up your alley, or you're just thinking about buying a newer construction home, I'd love to chat with you. Give me a call. So I'm gonna take you guys on a little walk. We are just literally 4 doors down from the house there, but I wanna show you how close we are to like what's in the neighborhood basically. And I think it's really interesting. Let's say you had an unlimited budget and you're like, I would love for my kids to be able to walk to elementary school, walk to middle school, and walk to high school, and I'd be able to love to walk them. You're probably not walking your kid to high school. That would be like super awkward, of course. And you get that like death stare, like you are so not cool. But anyways, like right here, you have Burrell Middle School. And so on that same point, there's only one neighborhood that I'm aware of where you can actually walk to all 3 of those. And that is where we are now. So that's pretty much anywhere if you live in like Baywood, which is the northern part of this whole neighborhood. And then we have Aragon, which is a little bit south of Baywood. And then we have Homestead Husing where we are now, which is like a really cute little pocket. If you're wondering, okay, well, what else is nearby? If we were to go from here east, it's only a few blocks to El Camino. And then it's maybe like a 5 or 6 minute walk north up to downtown San Mateo, where you have Central Park. Downtown, you have 171 different restaurants just in downtown San Mateo alone. And then where we have Central Park in late December, there's San Mateo on Ice. They basically set up a ice rink in the outfield of the baseball field, and then you can go ice skating. And it's just a really fun vibe. So I just think this area is primed for continued growth. We're seeing more and more people add on second stories and do their dream homes here. And that's why, even though I was mentioning in the beginning of the video, we've seen like no new homes that come to market. And so for the home that I was just showing you, while that's technically not new construction, Construction, there's just no other homes that are kind of like that. So if you kind of want to live here, you're pretty much gonna be looking at buying a resale home, or you could buy a smaller, older home and then add on to it and do a big project if you like. But I just want to show you guys over here. Here's Burrell Middle School. You can take a look, and they have about 934 students. And so you're looking at about, it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So you have about 300 kids per class. The ratio of students to teachers is 19:1. So that's pretty good. And there's actually only 3 public middle schools in San Mateo, and this is obviously one of the 3. So we're just kind of walking up the hill. We just got another couple blocks to go. This is Barneson, and I'm gonna take you guys across to Burrell Park. And then after Burrell Park, then I wanna show you guys Baywood Elementary School and Aragon High School. All right, so we're popping into Burrell Park, and what's cool, this might be one of the newest parks on the whole peninsula. The master plan for this was approved in 2019, and then the park itself opened in September 2022, so it's only a little over 2 years and 5 months old to be exact. I'm not sure how much this park cost to build, but if I don't know, it's probably between $500,000 and $1 million. But anyways, it is 1.15 acres, and we have Burrell Middle School over here. It's Barneson Ave right here. House we came from was only a block and a half that way. All right, let's kind of take a look inside the park right here. You got a lot of cool bark chips, which is the big thing nowadays, and you have some cool plastic structures for playing on. And over here, there's a really cool area with some picnic tables. Let's just take a quick look at that. And then a huge play structure with a little slide that you can go down. And this is nice to have this right in the heart of the neighborhood. I think it's pretty cool. All right, we're in the corner of Barneson and Alameda. This is what I would call an extremely busy intersection where you have 2 lanes here on Alameda. It's kind of getting windy here. What's nice though about this location is you have the 92 freeway, which is only 2 blocks away. So if you kind of live in the area where we just were, you can get to downtown San Mateo, and then you can come up here so easily. You hop on 92, get up to 280, boom, 5 minutes, you head north or south on 280. Boom, right here, you head 1 exit and you're at 101 and 92. So it's a very central location. So even though you just go a couple blocks in there where Burrell Park was, where the house was that I showed you, it's really nice. You feel super residential, but you just pop out here and you get where you need to go. So just over here is Aragon High School. Aragon has about 1,600 students, and in 2015, Newsweek magazine, they're not around too much anymore, but I remember Newsweek back in the day, they rated Aragon the 100th best high school in the country. So it's pretty cool. There are multiple fields here. There's a track and field way over there. There's a swimming pool. Beautiful campus. A lot of money went into the campus in the last 10 years, just beautifying it, new construction. And again, just across the street here, this is Castilian Way, and you're right in the Aragon neighborhood, which is again just a few blocks north of Homestead Husing, where we kind of shot everything or at the house earlier today. So it's just again super convenient. Just shoot down here and you're at 92 in like 30 seconds. So it's a great spot. So even though we're only 2 blocks away from Baywood Elementary School, which is where I want to take you, there's a little bit of a hill there, and we got the camera gear, so we thought, okay, well, we're a little lazy. We're gonna go grab the car. We'll pop up there. But it's cool. It's so funny we're talking about new construction. There's a house just right here. Well, there's nothing there. There was a house. Now someone's gonna build new. So that's cool to see, you know, that there's this type of activity happening. And it took us a few minutes just to get the shot because behind me there's a jackhammer going. So people are spending money. All right, so we just parked because we didn't want to walk up the hill here, but this is Baywood Elementary School here, and they have a pretty good ratio, it's about 22:1, and it's just right in the heart of the neighborhood, which is why I just briefly wanted to show it to you guys so you can kind of get a sense for how close it is to everything. So if you're thinking about making a move to the Baywood, Aragon neighborhood in San Mateo, or just San Mateo in general, I'd love to be your peninsula real estate resource of choice. So give me a call, shoot me a text, whatever it is, I will respond. And if you're just curious, okay, want to check out downtown San Mateo, check out this video. If you want to learn a little bit more about the city of San Mateo and living here, check out this video. I'll see you guys soon.